James, Mikey, we're down here at your gym, Mickey. It's 12 Keys?
12 Keys, yeah.
Is it Birkenhead, this?
Wallasey.
Wallasey. Is that the posh part then?
It's very posh.
I do, I like it down here. It's got a lot of character, this place, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And a nice and busy gym today.
Yeah.
So we have the 3 lads in who've come to chat to. And what were the others? The keep hitters, or do you work amateur out of here?
Yeah, some of them just want to come in and have a couple of boxing matches, but you know, obviously Christmas is coming up, so they're just coming in to keep fit.
Right. But on to James, because it's been a long time coming. You waited a hell of a long time for your debut, and it feels like it's almost as long for your second fight, mate.
Yeah, it's been a couple of months, like, but we're getting there.
And how are you feeling now? Because you've been here now, must be close to a year, is it? How long have you been?
8 months.
Yeah.
You feel is this like home now for you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Decent. But it's a bit of a long journey from ours, getting through the tunnel and stuff, but you have to do what you got to do.
But I think that sometimes when you travel, especially when you're young, because you're still only young, that shows that dedication that you need for this sport.
Yeah.
You know,
sometimes when you can't be bothered coming in, it's not only the little travel getting over it, but when you can't be arsed in the morning, I just think when I'm coming over here listening to my music in the morning, it just sets me up for the day. So not only just coming to the gym and getting into a decent mood to start the day off.
And last time out you had what ended up being a really good fight, because you started off a little bit shaky, but I presume it's only expected because it's been a long time since you've been boxing. I mean, it must have been about 3 years from your amateur fight to when you stepped through the ropes as a pro.
Nearly 4 years or something.
Yeah, it's a long time. And you didn't have many fights as an amateur, did you?
No, I only had 12. It was weird. It was like, I thought it was going to be totally different, but it was half similar to the amateurs, but obviously getting your warm up and that before, getting your hands dropped, a few things different, but when you're in there it's just like a ring similar.
But once you warmed up, you finished the fight tremendously. I mean, you really, Jamie Quinn was working hard to stay in that fight with you. I was really impressed with the way you finished the fight, mate. The last 2 rounds, you were extremely dominant.
Shout out the commentator who was giving good words. Thank you.
He was a commentator on that one there, mate.
Sam Maxwell it was.
Oh, was it? I've just been with Sam today, just talking to Sam.
Yeah.
Top kid.
Sam was saying I impressed him, so that's
in fact,
decent.
Sam has just signed with your manager.
Yeah. I think they're sort of relations or something.
Yeah, I think he's his brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Brother-in-law, yeah.
But yeah, shout out to the manager as well. Since I've been with him, from the very start, I've only been with him for a year, and he's got me 2 fights, which has been tough coming off the pandemic and stuff like that. So
it's hard, and we're in this period where everyone's struggling for money, so I presume it's not going to get too much easier, but we've been unfortunate. A lot of shows have been cancelled or they fell through, you know, it's just been bad luck. But we have an opponent for you. It's going to be week on Saturday, back at Olympia where you made your debut, and a bit of an unknown quantity. I mean, last time you got a guy that we all know what Jamie Quinn brings to the table. He's a tough, hard man. But you've got a kid who's just starting his journey on the road. I believe he's a Manchester boy as well, from my area. He's 0-2, but that makes that's quite good, because you don't know what you're getting, and I think that brings the fear factor again, doesn't it?
Just another man in the way of where I want to get, and to get me experience up as well. So.
Well, I've just been watching you today. You look really sharp on the pads today, mate. But where do you think you can go? Who have you been sparring with in preparation for this fight, mate?
Been sparring in Derry's.
Oh yeah.
In Derry's, been sparring a few lads in his, and I'll be sparred.
Beforehand it was Liam as well. Earlier on in camp.
We don't do camp, but we don't do camps. We just keep training.
Staying in gym, yeah.
One of them. So
that's the best thing you've said there, mate. That's how it should be, mate.
So we've been. We were sparring Liam quite a bit, and then obviously we've sparred a few lads out of Derry. So it's decent. So I feel great.
because that's where you get your confidence from.
Yeah.
You know, sparring with kids, because everyone's going to be more experienced than you. Even if professionally wise, they might not be any more experienced. They're all going to have more amateur experience than you, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but do you feel like it's all coming together now, mate?
After this fight, obviously, with it, like everything's new. Every time I do something in boxing, it's new to me because I've never ever done it, especially professional. So with it being the first time round March, trying to get tickets so where people are having a night out with work and Christmas around the corner, and it's been a bit tough, but it's just learning it. You have to just.
But I remember your stablemate was fighting on the same show as you, Desi. Mickey, if you remember from his debut to his second fight, there was a massive change and a bit of a similar time scale between fights. It must be close to 6 months, is it, from when you last fought, is it?
In July.
Is it July? So what, is it 5 months then? 5 months? Yeah. Now there was a massive transformation. Do you feel like we're going to see this with James?
Yeah, because in the gap, we try to focus on certain things that are missing at the beginning, and it gives us more time. Sometimes, you know, at one point I said that having a big gap could be a bad thing because you're still stale or whatever. But really, in the gym, they've been learning new tricks, how to punch properly.
So they took advantage of that time?
They got to, yeah. They got to. And they have, and I think we'll see a different fight on the 90 boxers on the 10th.
Yeah, well,
we'll see a different fight.
I'm hoping so, because like I say, the change from Desi, and Desi had a cracking, it was a war, but it was a great fight to watch.
Yeah.
But then his second fight was a totally different story. He schooled the kid. Now if we see that type of transformation here, I mean, you must be excited for the future then.
No, I've done the first one now, so that's it. I know what to expect now.
Do you feel different now?
Yeah.
Do you feel different? Because you're now a professional fighter.
Like,
you know,
I don't know how many times I've watched me fight back, but I look at things and I think, why was I doing that, this, that, and then it all comes down to, because it was my first fight, obviously the nerves and all your family there, because you've sold tickets, you know who's there, where they're sitting, where they are.
A lot of pressure on you.
And there was a lot of pressure on me because I've been waiting that long to do my debut, so now it's my second fight. I know what to expect and I know what to do, so
we expect a big performance?
A lot better.
Well, I'm looking forward to what I've just seen today, and I follow you on Facebook and Instagram, and you know, putting little clips on there, and you're looking really sharp, you're working hard, you're in here every day, so I'm looking forward to what you're going to bring on December the 10th, and hopefully I'll be down there and I'll be chatting to you and I'll be saying win number 2.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
James, you take care. Mickey, it's always a pleasure, mate.
Thanks, Lee. Cheers.
Take care, mate. Bye.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.